Okay, good morning, everybody. Looks like we're live. Good morning and welcome to today's virtual plant clinic. And this is a special 3-year anniversary plant clinic.
Woo,
Yay. Oh, here,
yay.
Teresa even made us a special, I guess you can see this, a big 3 for
Turn it around.
3-year anniversary.
No, it's right. You're right. Okay.
Did I get that correct? Yeah, because
Yes,
everything's
yes,
reversed
you
to
got
the
it right.
camera. I get confused. My name is Bill Lester. I'm with University of Florida Extension here in Hernando County. And with me today is my regular co-host, Lily Browning, who has been with me doing this since the very beginning 3 years ago
Mhm.
when we first started on Zoom. Oh, geez. I wasn't planning on that one.
And Dr. Lester has a heart attack on live.
Yes.
Okay. I take it that was Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa snuck in here. I thought she was going to be showing the 3. I wasn't really expecting.
That was awesome.
That'll make good video too. So
Yes.
we'll have to. There she is. We'll clip that one out and
No,
put it
no.
online. Oh,
Yes.
and Bernie's here too.
Bernie, yay! Bernie's here.
Hey, Bernie.
Joining me today, along with explosions and big gold 3s and little pieces of colored paper, is Teresa, who's been with us pretty much since the beginning. She's always in the background. She's the one that shares all the links to what we're talking about.
And Teresa, by the way, is not a bear.
No, and I don't know if Teresa took that picture or just got it from somewhere else. She might have to share that story with us, I guess.
Yes.
Um,
Introduce your boss, Bill.
okay, also here with us today is my boss, Jim Davis. So for anybody watching, you're going to have to put in the comments what a fantastic job we've been doing here. And Jim's been on once before, but not for a long time. Jim's the county extension director for here in Hernando County and also Sumter County. So good morning, Jim.
Good morning, everyone.
You need to be on with us more often here.
Yes.
I have a hard time getting guests, but when I get dragged out of town to different various activities, our master gardener Bernie is always ready in the wings to jump in and help.
I was going to
Take
say, I
over
don't
and
have
answer questions.
trouble getting a guest because Bernie's always willing to be there. Yeah. Oh, look, Monique is listening in from North Carolina.
Yeah, we have a bunch of our regulars on here.
Monique took a 6-mile hike in the woods of North Carolina yesterday.
It was probably beautiful, a whole
I'm
lot
sure it was.
cooler up there than it is here.
Yes.
So, hey guys, we're going to do something a little special today. If you want to join us, if you want to have your own little square here in Hollywood Squares and come on, say hi, ask a question, tell us all that you've learned from 3 years of us doing this just about every Thursday morning, just email Teresa. Her email address is scrolling along at the bottom, and she'll send you the link to join us here today. So you need a camera, you need a microphone, you need to be well behaved, and other than that, we'll go ahead and put you in. We can have, I think, 10 people on here. The boxes get really small after a certain number. I think I've had 10 on before.
Her email is TWEGLARZ. TWEGLARZ at UFL.edu. It's going by pretty quickly. Yes. So I'm TWEGLARZ at UFL.edu.
So good morning, Bernie. How are you? Oh, you are on mute, so you need to.
Yeah, you need to unmute yourself.
There we go. Did I
Yeah,
unmute?
you did.
Yep.
Oh, it's a beautiful day here. I've
It is.
really enjoyed these programs over the years, and just thank you for allowing me to participate.
No, thank you for participating. And now we have a weekly Bernie moment. Have you seen those, Jim?
What are they called? The weekly Bernologies?
Bernologies, yes.
Yes, I have.
Yes, and he does a great job at that.
I know. I heard it in one take, Bernie, too.
Yes.
He
One
has
If I don't
several
get it
teammates
right the
now.
first time, there's no sense bothering to do it again.
Well, I was starting to tell a story before we went on air and about my recording room here. It's an upstairs meeting room at Hernando County Utilities, and I call it my recording room. But it has a new name now because Monday, as I was coming into work, a gentleman was coming in, and he usually gets here at 8. I get here at 7. A group of people get here at 7:30. A group of people get here at 8. Well, he was coming early at the 7:30 time, and he said, "Are you recording in your recording room today?" And I said, "No, you can have it, if you have a meeting." And he goes, "No, that's not it. We have a squirrel trapped in there." It's like, excuse me. And of course, this happened over the weekend. And he's the one who gets all the phone calls about the alarm going off. We still don't know how he got in, but he was setting the alarm off everywhere. And apparently, even earlier that morning, guys who were here saw him running around and filtered him into this room. So by the time I got here, he was in here, and me and 3 other guys. First, they were trying to throw a recycling bin over him or a jacket. He was climbing all over this. I really wish I would have got a picture of him on that. And I finally put it down so he couldn't go up it anymore. Poor thing, I was afraid he was going to have a heart attack. But we went with plan B, which I was concerned wouldn't work because it involved sending him downstairs, and I was afraid he would just be on, up in the ceiling somewhere. But there was an open door to the outside, and we had closed every other hall. He had a straight shot down 2 flights of stairs outside, and he smelled outside, and he went. But so from now on, I usually have a filming in progress on the door. So now I've made a new sign. This is going to be forever the squirrel room. They must have cleaned it because it doesn't smell too bad in here. And
Doesn't smell squirrely.
yeah, hopefully he's out there unharmed and living a good life.
Okay, one of our regular followers, Lee, has joined us. And good morning, Lee. How are you?
Good morning. I am fine. How is everyone?
We're great. I'm great. My blood pressure has gotten back down to normal after the explosion
That's
in here.
good.
I'm still surrounded by little pieces of paper, though. So
That's
I
good.
think that was the best thing that's ever happened in our virtual plant clinic.
no, that was great. That was a
Yes.
great idea.
Yes.
Sorry that I didn't think of doing that to somebody else. So Jim, Lee watches us on a regular basis from Broward County. So we have statewide impact.
We do. And Austin watches from Wisconsin.
Yes. Green Bay or somewhere up around there.
Yeah. Monique is a downtown Brooksville girl who's in North Carolina right now. Not sure where everyone else is. I believe Bassem is from the Spring Hill area. Corey
Buddy is from the Panhandle.
Buddy's from Tallahassee. Yes. Verna is from
Verna's watching
Volusia
from
County.
Volusia County.
Nice.
Boy, we got
Yeah.
people from all over here.
Mm-hmm. Corey should be on at any point, and he's like, I'm guessing Pasco Hernando line. Yeah, somewhere
Just
around
in the
there.
Pasco County, yeah.
Yeah. Jenny Rimmer is from Brooksville.
So, hey, if
Oh,
anybody
I
has
was
any
wrong
lawn and
about
garden
this.
questions, feel free to throw them in the chat, or you can come on here live. Just email Teresa. Her email is scrolling down at the bottom, and she'll send you a link to go ahead and join us and ask your question.
Bassem is from Seminole County. I was
Okay.
mistaken.
So we got people from all over the state here.
We do. We get all kind of questions, and we rarely get through a program without the subject of poop coming up some way or another. And I kind of skirted it with that squirrely comment. But anyway,
Yeah, poop. And what is the other thing that we normally? Cooking
Vegetable
iguanas
cooking.
comes up a lot.
yes. or vegetables, how to prepare vegetables. So Corey usually asks, what are you doing in your garden this week? So what are you doing, Dr. Lester? I'll beat him to the question.
Well, first of all, what's Lee doing in her garden? Because I know that she would be ahead of me schedule-wise.
Well, right now we're cleaning up our winter garden vegetables. We just have cabbage, a few eggplants left, and peppers. We are getting ready to put some more calabaza, black-eyed peas, and we're going to do some more peppers. And that's about it.
It's so funny that you refer to eggplant and peppers as winter vegetables.
For us it is, for you it's not.
For you it is. For
Yeah.
us, not so much.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
You know,
rainy. It's been raining the last 2 days.
Oh, it's bone
well,
dry here.
send it up here. Yeah, we need
Dry,
some.
dry.
Yeah, I
We
think our rainy
desperately
season's
need some.
starting.
Yeah, I'm having to go out there and water everything, 5 or 6 times a day, I think. Is that okay, Lily?
Do you want to go over those watering questions that I sent you since you
We
brought it up?
can. We can do that in a little bit. Oh, I forgot.
Right.
I have them to open and screen share. I didn't download them to show them. Here, go ahead and talk while I go ahead and pull that up and get them downloaded.
Well, what he is looking for is some frequently asked questions that I've been getting this week and the last couple of weeks. There's been activity regarding our watering restrictions. Nothing has changed. We are not in an officially declared, drought situation. But what has changed is Hernando County Code Enforcement has hired more staff and are getting really serious about educating people through their wallets about our watering restrictions. And so on there, it says, if you have questions, call water conservation. And really those means questions about how can I take care of a lawn? I can do this, I can do that. But usually I get the, how dare you send me a fine kind of questions. But I put together, if Bill can scrape them up, I put together some frequently asked questions in the past week. There we go.
There
So
we go. It
I will
shrinks
test-
all of us down.
I'll
That's
test you
nice.
guys, see what Bill and Jim and Bernie know, about on these watering restrictions in Hernando County. If you're listening from another county, yours are probably a wee bit different. So we are on 1 day a week. That is not new. And it is not because we are in a drought situation. That's our watering restrictions. So one of the questions I get quite often is, may I water half as much twice a week?
One time for $140.
One time for 104. Okay, no. Your first fine is $100. But we get this often. Can I negotiate with you? I want to water twice a week, but I'll water half as much. And maybe you are very trustworthy to do that. But we have about 180,000 people to regulate. So the answer is no. And is that even good for your lawn? I'll let Jim answer that one. Do you think that frequent but more light watering, is that good for your lawn? Anybody? How about Bernie?
Well, absolutely. It's good for your lawn in the short run, but it's a terrible thing in the long run. It encourages very short roots, which means that in drought times, the damage occurs much faster. So deep watering once a week is infinitely better than short, minor depth watering.
And I have many people telling me, well, my lawn will die if I don't water it more. Well, that's because you have trained it that way and you have a hydroponic lawn. You need to start weaning it. So it's kind of along the same veins. Anyone can pop in and answer this. How is my lawn supposed to survive on 1 day a week watering?
If you mow it short, it probably won't.
I like that answer. Very good. And what do we recommend for mowing?
3.5 inches for Bahia, 4 inches for St. Augustine.
Okay, the other question we get. So I can water before 8 a.m. and after 6 p.m. on my watering day? That's the question. What is the answer? Do we know this answer? Bill?
No, you may not. It's one or the other, not both.
Well, there we go. Very good. See, they've listened to me a long time.
I've done enough classes with you. Yes, I've heard that before.
Do the watering rules only apply to customers of Hernando County Utilities on our municipal system?
No, it applies to everybody, even if you're on a well, if you pull your irrigation out of a pond or retention pond, which is problematic for a lot of other reasons, but no matter where you're getting your water from, it applies to you.
Very good. This one I've gotten all week. I have just overseeded my lawn. Do I qualify for the exemptions to the watering restrictions? This is a tricky one. This is where it gets a little tricky.
It depends.
Overseeding an existing lawn, the answer is no. You do not. And I've had people call in and say they did that, and what are they supposed to do now? Well, you shouldn't have done that. I did it a couple years ago. Do you know when I did it? I overseeded my Bahia lawn with more Bahia seed. Mid-June, I wanted nature's help in the matter. It doesn't make sense to do it in our dry season. Now, if you have bare spots, absolute bare spots that you have put seed on, you may target that area with a hose in your hand or a very small hose and sprinkler that is only getting that area, just those spots. But as far as spraying, broadcasting seeds over an existing lawn, even over weeds, over any vegetation whatsoever, does not qualify for exemption to the watering restrictions. This one I've been getting a couple of times. My lawn was just treated and I need to water it in. May I water it in even though it is not my watering day? Ooh, Bernie, do you know the answer to that one?
No.
Well, the answer is it depends. My lawn was just treated. Sounds like somebody else did it. So if it was a professional who did it, and depending on the treatment and the instructions, they're going to give you a placard, a little sign to put up, that this chemical treatment happened and it's going to have the date on it. You make sure that's up. If you can, wait till after 6. If it says immediately, then do it immediately. But usually it's a very light treatment. The second half of that answer is, what if I do it myself? What if I have done the treatment? There's a really, really, really simple answer to that when you think about it. Does anyone know what that is?
You should do the treatment on your watering day.
Woohoo, you got it.
After you fertilize, you're able to water it in that day and still stay on your day.
And not just you should. I mean, they will fine you otherwise. So if you're doing it yourself, just plan it on your watering day. Make it much easier. A couple more. Do I have to follow the watering restrictions for my vegetable garden?
I sure hope not, because I've been out there watering my vegetable garden pretty much every day. But I just have a small homemade sprinkler system that just waters the garden. It's not all that big.
They
I
are
don't
exempt.
put that much water on it.
Vegetable gardens are exempt from the watering restrictions.
Good.
Okay, I have just planted new landscape plants. May I turn on the irrigation system to get them established?
Hand water.
Hand water. That is half of the answer. This is another one of those, it depends. So we're talking about turning on your irrigation zone to get those new landscape plants planted. You may turn on that zone if 50% or more of that zone is new plantings.
If the system is spraying water on your new plants, you really have done your new plants a disservice, because what you've done is created a fungal situation that's going to kill the new plants. So you really wouldn't want to be using your regular irrigation system, because if your regular irrigation system will actually water the plants, you've made a mistake.
You're right. Very good. You want to get those roots watered, not the leaves. So a micro irrigation system, you with a hose in your hand, a rain barrel, you are even allowed per the ordinance to use a soaker hose for that. That concerns me personally, because I don't think they save that much water, and you can forget that they're on. And if you're one of our customers or another municipal system, you may not like your bill, but that is allowable. So somebody on one of the Facebook groups that I overheard about said she found a loophole. Does everybody see the loophole? Just put 50%, of your zones with new plants, then we all can water as much as we want. Well, that sounds like an extraordinarily expensive loophole to me, and not very practical.
Yes, you could if you really wanted to.
Yes. Next one, I have bare spots in my lawn, and I have added sod seed plugs to those areas. Can I water them every day? Remember, I just answered that one.
By hand.
By
Right.
that targeted means to that area. Can I hand water my lawn with a hose in my hand when it's not my watering day? In other words, there's nothing wrong with my lawn. I just want to stand there with the hose in my hand to supplement it. Is that allowed?
Who has that kind of free time?
No. You can, your shrubs, your flower beds, your vegetable garden, not just standing in here just to water your lawn. No. What are the fines for water violations? Bernie, you probably should know this, because people might be asking you,
Well, I was just told it's $100 for the first offense.
right? And does code enforcement offer warnings?
I don't think so.
Nope.
The second offense is $500. The third offense is you get to participate in Hernando County's court and magistrate system. If you have 3 offenses within a 5-year period, that's what gets to happen. So, and the last one, can I wash my car or pressure wash?
Should be able to.
Yes, you may. We are
Yeah,
not
under normal restrictions, when we go to the next level of restrictions, they usually ban it.
Correct. We are not on next level. This is always level. Next level would be when the Water Management District declares, at a potential drought situation. Then we'll start talking about you're not allowed to water, your car, wash your car, or you can have fundraiser car washes or pressure wash your house and things like that. But under normal circumstances, no. Now, somebody, if you want to talk about loopholes, somebody told me he watered some trees in for 60 days and they need it more than that. I didn't get into how he planted them or anything like that. He wanted simple answers. And I told him about hand watering them. And then he asked, can he wash his car? And I said, yes, he can. And if it's possible to park his car by his trees when he's washing them. Then
Now that's creative. I respect that one. That's
Yes.
thinking outside of the box.
Yes. All right. And the next slide is just a reminder of our watering rules here in Hernando County. And a lot of people seem to act like they've never heard this before. And it's possible that some of them haven't. One of the things they say is, well, I didn't even get a warning and I've been doing this way for 10 years. Well, then you should be congratulated for not getting caught for 10 years, but now you're caught. So hopefully we'll get that information out there.
Really? I've had some clients that have said that their homeowner association controls the watering, and that 3 people at a time get watered, which means that 2 of those people would be on the wrong day. Is there anything that they can do to correct that, so that
They have to, and we do get this question a lot, and people act like the homeowners association is, and it may be some unreachable entity, but you know, to me, what's its name? Home Owners Association. Are you not also a homeowner? I think if enough of the community goes up in arms, they're going to have to make some changes. But you're right, it's unfair. They don't have control, and they're the ones who get fined. You know, the fine goes to the address, the person at the address, but they don't have control over it. And that really has to be handled at the homeowner level. There's nothing we can do about that.
Yeah, we work with a lot of neighborhoods and homeowners associations, mostly to just kind of dispel misconceptions and correct wrong ideas as far as what you need to do to have a healthy lawn, what's involved with it, how much water they need. Because there's just a lot of confusion out there, and a lot of people just don't know the science and the plant physiology behind it and what you need to do to end up with a healthy lawn. And watering 3 times a day every day is not necessary. Fertilizing once a month is not necessary. It's usually not helpful. But we work individually with those neighborhoods. And there's always new neighborhoods to work with. It's one of those things that just kind of never ends.
Yep, we've been going, supposed to be every other week. We kind of got on a makeup once a week schedule, but we're back to every other week at well, older in Florida terms, it's about a 40-year-old community or so. And we've been, it's going really well. We have a good rapport, and we have about 35 or 40 people show up to any different number of subjects that we talk about. So that's where, you know, that's where we're going to get into the quote, grassroots in these gated communities because of the pressure from their HOAs. That's who we need to target, not, you know, me or Bill out there who never water anything and, you know, or Bernie. So.
Hey, here, I want to mention my new background today. This is a picture that was sent to me yesterday.
It's gorgeous.
Let me try turning a few of us off here just for a moment so that everybody can see what the picture in the background is. There you go. Did you get a good look at what was going on there? Let me start turning everybody back on. And that picture was forwarded to me, and this came from a gentleman. This looks like it's in Spring Hill, and what his problem was he wanted to be able to water his lawn because he had just fertilized it and didn't want the fertilizer to burn the grass. And I saw a couple issues, a couple background issues with it that kind of made the whole watering and fertilizing thing pointless. Mm-hmm. So Bernie, what do you think of his lawn?
I'd say it's non-existent.
Bingo! That's just what I was thinking too. He really doesn't have hardly any lawn. I had to open this on my computer, download it, open it, and zoom in, and it looks like maybe at one point he has like the last remnants of St. Augustine grass there. And it looks to me like he's cutting it at maybe, half an inch high. So let's get Jim into this discussion. What do you think of his lawn? What do you think happened to it? Do you think that fertilizer and water is going to make it green up and look good for spring?
Absolutely not. So,
you're kind of breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't get that.
Oh, sorry. I said that's what happens when you scalp St. Augustine grass.
Yes.
Yeah, so he made the mistake of, for some reason, cutting it too short because he just thought you had to, or that's how he did it in Indiana or wherever he came here from. But cutting it way too short, killed the St. Augustine. Looks like he killed most everything else there, too.
Well,
if he starts cutting it higher, he may get a good crop of weeds to cover the bare dirt this summer, but that's all he's going to get out of it without resodding.
We ended up with this picture because he had it fertilized and then got in trouble for water, or I guess he fertilized it and then got in trouble for watering it in on the wrong day. And I just, I can't help you with the fine, and here's what you should have done. I didn't even tell him he violated the fertilizer ordinance because you're not supposed to be doing that till April 1st.
Saturday.
Saturday.
He's a few days early.
But what I ended up doing was telling him to take, because there's some good areas in there. Bernie, I referred him to you. So we'll see if he shows up.
So if somebody rolls in and shows you that picture on his phone, you'll know where he came from.
Yes. And you get to tell him how to start all over again and how to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm sure they take all root rot in there, and I'm sure there's weeds. I'm sure there's a lot of problems, but it all started from shaving it, almost plowing it instead of cutting it, which is not how you manage St. Augustine.
One of the things that I think is really interesting is the number of people that are afraid of their lawn service. That they'll come in and they've got a sample and it's cut at an inch and a half. And I explained to them, you're paying the man. It needs to be 4 inches. Have him. Oh, I couldn't possibly tell him to do that. If I did, he'd quit. And well, we're in a county where every unemployed fellow with a pickup truck is in the lawn care business. So there's 197,000 people that live here, and there's 190,000 of them, it seems like, that are in the lawn care business. So finding somebody that'll cut it at the heights that you want shouldn't really be that problem. And since it's your money, you should be able to get whatever you want. And it seems to be the older people, especially from communities up north, where if you didn't take it, it was a take it or leave it proposition, that really seemed to be afraid to ask. But it's the same way that the lawn care people come out and they put something on the lawn, and they come back in 3 or 4 weeks and they put something on the lawn. They send you a bill every month, and nobody has a clue what was put down or why it was put down, or if there was anything in the water that they sprayed. And I knew a fellow that worked for one of the companies, and if they ran out of chemical before the day was over, a lot of times they were spraying nothing but pure water at the end of the day. So, ask these people, ask them to give you a list of exactly what they put down, ask them to do the lawn care in a particular manner. And if they can't do it, find another one. And there's hundreds of them. It's not that big a problem. Don't be afraid.
who writes the check? Or
We do.
yes.
The homeowner does, yeah.
Or his name is on the credit card, I should say, but nobody writes checks anymore very often.
I actually asked my lawn guy to clean his blades at one time. I asked him if he cleans his blade because he goes from customer to customer. And he said he didn't. And I said, you need to start cleaning your blades because you can transfer disease.
You're
And
right.
I don't want that in my yard.
You're correct, and that's very important. But on the other hand, very difficult for them. It becomes difficult to clean it between cuts, but technically they're supposed to.
Time is money for
Sanitation is
them.
important with cutting lawns, with trimming trees. I know Jim knows it's really important with trimming palm trees, because if you don't clean that equipment, it's a really good way to move diseases from yard to yard to yard and just cause a lot more problems.
Yeah, one of the things, Bill, that they can do, and this was shared by Dr. Trenholm, is that it is very time consuming for individuals to sit and clean the blades from going from house to house. But what they can do that can help is they can use a blower. So before they leave the property, they can take the blower, blow out all their grass on that property, clean as much as possible, and then move on to another yard. So if they don't have the time to sit and put, sterilize their blades or whatever. They
Right.
certainly do have the time with a backpack blower or something like that, and that only takes seconds.
So at least there's not the material there that's transferring the diseases. Yeah, and that will
because
take
we've seen
5 minutes.
neighborhoods with lawn diseases, and it's really, really widespread around the entire subdivision, and probably being transferred from yard to yard to yard by services. Generally, if a homeowner has their own lawnmower and they're only cutting their lawn, they're obviously not bringing anything in because their lawnmower never leaves their property. But if you have to deal with the service, they have multiple customers, and weed seeds and diseases and other things can be moved on equipment from yard to yard.
Yeah, but like Jim said, at least blowing it, because yeah, for them, time is money, and they have a certain amount they have to get done, or else they have unhappy customers. So they are at your yard doing 30 miles an hour and then go, to the next yard.
Yeah, and then they make those curves because we have lawn service here at our office, and I can look right out my window, and they usually come right after I start doing something online. I don't know how they time that. And they go down and they do a 180, and they're doing about 30 miles an hour, and the dust and the rocks are flying and hitting my window, and time is money for them.
I have one day a few years ago, I was driving, around Hernando County and dodging various lawn companies wherever I went, in the middle of the week, in the middle of the day. And everywhere I'm looking, that's like, as Bernie mentioned, one of the main industries here is paying someone to do your lawn care. And I'm thinking, in the middle of a Tuesday, all these bodies running around taking care of lawns. And I thought if we could freeze this in time, and archaeologists look at this 10,000 years from now, they're going to assume from our patterns that we worshipped our lawns.
Yeah.
Some people do.
Yes. So much time and money. Hello, Alicia.
Alicia, how are you? So, hey, let me mention, if anybody has any lawn care, lawn, landscaping, vegetable garden, any kind of questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll go ahead and show them and get answered. And if anybody wants to join us here live online, if you have a working webcam and microphone, go ahead and email Teresa. Her email continues to scroll at the very bottom of the screen, and she will send you a link, and you can pop on in and join us live in person.
Here's a question from Lestine.
Yes, she needs help to make her yard sustainable with limited water. Where can I get help?
Well, where do you live?
Ask that question.
She lives in Gainesville. She's got all the help in the world, doesn't she?
Yes, the whole university up there.
Yeah, yes.
But the first place to start is with the Alachua County Extension Service, who their office is in Newberry now. Jim, is that where they built a new building?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out in Newberry, so contact them. And who's the horticulture agent up there? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I know the last one. He's in charge in Nassau County. They move people around. But just go ahead and contact your county extension office. And they probably have classes. They can answer your questions. You can bring samples to their office. They probably don't record as many good classes as we do, but we always show links to our recorded classes at the end. So a lot of good information.
You've got the whole university up there. You're really lucky. And I know the city of Gainesville has a turf swap program. I don't know if you qualify for that, but.
And they have different fertilizer ordinance up there. So everybody keep in mind, when you hear about fertilizer ordinance or watering restrictions, we're always giving you the details for Hernando County. So if you live somewhere else, chances are you have different details. You need to know what they are so that you're not fertilizing up in Gainesville and you say, well, those people on my computer told me I could. We just know the Hernando County rules.
And you also have the state office for the Florida Friendly Landscaping Program, which is going to be your biggest help in looking for that sustainable yard with limited water. So remember, keep that term in mind, Florida Friendly Landscaping.
And Bassem asks a very timely question. How can I grow pomegranate in Central Florida? We have a class on pomegranates coming up in a few weeks. There is a charge for it, but as a part of this class, you get 3 little pomegranate plants. to go ahead and plant in your yard and grow out. Pomegranates grow to be a fairly large shrub, small tree. It's more of a large shrub than a small tree. And they can grow very well here in Central Florida. There's been a lot of research being done on that. So we have an actual class coming up on that in the not too distant future. But Sam, you live over in Volusia County, and that's
Seminole.
kind of far away.
Seminole.
What? Oh, you live in Seminole County? Okay. Same thing. They're right next door. I used to live in both. So we will have a class on that coming up within the next few weeks. So if you shoot me an email, I'll send you a link to just the class part so that you can watch that and learn all about growing pomegranates. But you're not going to grow the same variety and get the same size pomegranate as you buy at Publix or Winn-Dixie over the holidays, because they all come from California. And that is a variety called Wonderful. So when I say Wonderful pomegranates, that's not an adjective, that's the name of the variety. And they get really large and red and are very, very good. The ones you grow in Florida tend to be other varieties. They're a bit smaller, but you can still grow them here. I think it takes a few years for your pomegranate to reach flowering and fruit-bearing size. But I've known people that had them, and after a few years, they were actually producing and they were picking them.
They are
Can he use Teresa's email to say he wants to sign up for that? Pomegranate?
Yes, he can. So if you email Teresa or email me, and we're going to show our emails at the very end here. We always do. Go ahead and shoot me an email, and we'll get you all set up. That way I have your email. I can send you.
We never did come up with a clever title. You stumped me. He wanted a title for a pomegranate class, and I didn't come up with any clever ones for that one.
Okay, my secret's out. So Jim, every time I have a class and it has a really cool title, Lily thought it up. It was
He knows
not me.
that. He knows that.
I
don't
know
you?
that.
My name would be Pomegranates.
I
I think
came
it's
up with
growing
it.
pomegranates in Central Florida.
Listen, I know Lily's the brains behind all this because that's where Stacy got the name Reading Palms.
Yes. See, years and years and years and years ago, for Jim Mull, who was a horticulture agent at that time in Hernando, he wanted a title for a class on palms, and I said how to read palms. He absolutely refused to use that title, adamantly refused. And I don't know how it, maybe through Stacy Strickland, it came back around, and there Jim Davis loved the title. Like 10 years later, it got revived. and
He just had no creativity.
he was afraid of who would show up to the class.
You know, I wouldn't even think to be worried about that.
Yes.
So, Basim, if you want to shoot me an email, there is my email. And he asked, can you grow pomegranates from seed? You could try. Bernie, do you think you can grow pomegranates from seed?
It would depend on the pomegranate. Pomegranates, as far as I know, the only real problem here is that they're like dates or figs, and that if you have a nematode problem, the plants don't do well. But other than that, they do pretty good. I've grown them in the past, and they don't get as seedy as you would if you were in a Mediterranean climate. But they do pretty well here.
So
Yeah, I
that's
know
why
they're-
we have
they're
different
native.
varieties than California, because we don't have an arid climate like California.
Yeah, they prefer that Mediterranean climate like California. That's why they're grown commercially out there. But we have researchers at University of Florida that are working with them and looking at growing them commercially in Florida, and they probably are, at least on a very small scale.
I wonder what you would have to do to prepare the seeds. Obviously, you'd have to clean them, and it may be like tomatoes. There may be something on the seed that inhibits the seeds from germinating until it's cleaned off.
That's something for you to research this afternoon, Bernie.
Yeah, it's probably worth trying. I know people, I've seen people online that if anybody here has ever had a dragon fruit, it has tiny seeds inside, and they're like the size of a kiwi fruit seed. I mean, when you're eating it, you don't even notice the seeds. They're so small. They're literally microscopic. They're little black dots. I've heard of people who plant them, and they germinate, and they get dragon fruit. Now, it takes forever to grow them until they get to the point where they're flowering and getting fruit. So it takes a lot of patience, but you can do it. So I'm not seeing too many questions here today from.
They are just riveted by all these wonderful personalities.
I know we've covered it all, I think.
Yes.
So I got a question for Lee. I know that Lee shared the name of a mango tree that she has that is dwarf and is appropriate for growing in containers. And I did save that name. One day I'm going to look it up and just order it online. I'm sure they're not cheap, but hey, nothing is nowadays. I'm going to try growing mangoes here.
Yeah, cockshell.
Yeah, cockshell. That was it. And that's a dwarf variety, or probably at least on a dwarf rootstock, so it stays small enough for a large container.
Yeah, they called it here a condo variety because it's short. You could grow it in a bigger pot, like maybe a 20-gallon pot, if you had a large pot.
No, I'm going to do that. I think that would make a really nice addition to the backyard. I've wanted to try mangoes and different tropical fruit for a while, but you have to plan on cold protection for during the winter. And that takes a little bit of time and preparation and work, so I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. Yeah, I'm going to try mango. I've seen on Facebook, it looks like the weather this year in South Florida was very good for them. Everybody is saying they flowered, and they're showing pictures of tons of little baby mango fruit. So do you think it's going to be a good mango year?
It should be a good mango there. We have 3 mango trees, and 2 of them had a lot of flowers, but they fell off because it was so dry and my sprinkler wasn't working. It was broken, so we just had it fixed. But I have 1 that has a lot of mangoes, tiny mangoes. Yeah.
So Corey is finally on today. I guess.
Remember, now what did I say he would ask?
He says, what veggies am I planting this week? And why are there so many people on my screen?
Well,
I'm glad you asked both those questions.
Corey, do you have a camera and a mic? Join us. Email tweglarz@ufl.edu. That's Teresa. She'll give you a link to join us.
And you could have your own little Hollywood Square also and join us. You just need a camera and microphone. And if you want to know what I'm planting in my garden this week, I need to get my bush beans and pole beans planted. I'm a good 2 weeks behind on them at this point.
Uh-oh.
So better late than never. I still have enough time. And I realize the weather right now is still really good for that. Even though it's really dry, it's warm, it's sunny, and generally low humidity. So very low disease pressure. Once we start getting the rain and the nighttime rains, the evening rains, humidity goes up to 100%, I'm going to have a lot more disease problems.
I want to share a few things I picked from my garden.
Oh, look at that.
That's my papaya,
Wow.
my eggplant, and my tomato.
Very
Hey,
nice.
you're doing better than me. I got a lot of broccoli this year, so I did pretty well.
I don't have anything. I don't know where Bill finds the time to vegetable garden.
It's not easy sometimes. So Jenny has a question. Thank you. If anybody else has any questions, just go ahead and put them in the chat. So she has an avocado tree that was grown from a seed, which you can do, but patience is definitely your friend if you do that. I have it in a big pot on my screened-in pool area. It is roughly 10 years old. Sounds like you have patience. I was wondering if it needs another tree to produce fruit. It has never even bloomed, but I do keep a prune back to keep it from growing through the screen. Lee, do you have any avocados? Any avocado
I
advice?
do. I have grafted avocados. My neighbor had one from seed and it took about 12 years.
So the grafted one took 12 years. So the seed might.
No.
No,
No,
grafted
the
one doesn't
seed,
take
the
that
one
long.
from seed took 12
Uh-huh.
years. Mine took 3 years. The grafted
Oh,
one
okay.
took 3 years.
Okay. So she might just have a couple more years.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
think, Bernie?
I would think that 10 years is just about to start. It was 10 years before my avocado produced any fruit, and it was a commercial tree.
So it doesn't need another tree near it?
No.
Okay.
But the problem is, since those trees are hybrids, you have no idea what you're actually going to end up with if it ever does fruit.
Well, yeah, like as they say, a cloned plant is going to get you exactly what you want. A plant growing from seed is just like each and every one of us. We grew from seed and our parents didn't know what they were going to get. So the same applies to plants. So there's
You get
some
that
DNA
wonderful-
material, but you don't know how it's going to arrange itself, basically.
You get
I
that
love your
genetic
sense of
roll of the
humor.
dice.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, pruning it back at the wrong time of year is definitely going to inhibit or knock back potential flowering. So if you trim it back too close to what the time of year when it would normally flower, you may be removing the, very beginnings of the flower buds. 10 years is probably just getting old enough where it could flower. And I can guarantee you that it will give you an avocado, not an apple or a pear or a peach. But there's no telling exactly what kind of avocado it'll give you. So Teresa wanted me to ask, is anyone in the group successful in growing garlic in raised beds? I'm not sure why Teresa's so interested in growing garlic. Anybody here grow garlic before? I've never had a chance. Oh, is that yours?
I'm going to
course.
open it up. I did, but it did not give me like large bulbs, just tiny bulbs. We didn't get the chill hours needed here. So they are tiny.
Very nice.
That's still not bad.
Yeah, maybe Teresa has a vampire problem. Why
That
she's
could be.
about the garlic. Yes.
You
Well,
should
I
be
don't
able
know.
to
Maybe
grow it
garlic
up
keeps
there.
mold away.
Soft neck.
Yes, I know that you have to grow soft neck garlic here in Florida. I know in Central Florida, it's a wintertime crop. So you plant it in the fall and just let it grow all winter. And ideally in the spring, as the days get longer, it's going to bulb up as best as it's going to. So it's going to depend a little bit on the weather. Like I said, I haven't tried growing it before. I need to next year.
Do you see this question about croton here? Sure.
Well, let's get back to the follow up on the avocado. Oh, well, you jump. You're jumping in front of me here. So Jacqueline asks, where can I get seeds for croton glandulosa to attract the goatweed leaf-wing butterfly? Oh, I see a question for Jim.
Yeah, that looks like a Jim question for sure.
I can't find it at any native plant nursery. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know where you're gonna find that. I don't know if Greenhouse has that or not. So as far as the seed source, I don't know the native plant local seed source. That's something you probably can get online somewhere.
I look online because pretty much almost every nursery and every supplier will sell things online now. And you can order it and get it shipped to you the next day.
What I tell people about trying to find native plants, because it's not an easy journey. It's not just running out to the store on a Saturday morning, getting some plants to fill in an area. It's work to incorporate native plants in your life. So the biggest advice I can give anybody about finding native plants is to make friends with people who love native plants. That really is, join
Especially
your
with
native,
the Plant Society.
absolutely join your native plant society because in your county, because then you'll be, the networking, and they'll share plants or tell you where they found some. That is the best way to go about it. Or make friends with your native plant nursery owner. It's going to be through networking that you're going to be successful finding the native plants that you want to find. Walking into a big box store is not going to help you find native plants.
No, and you're not going to get a lot of really good information either. So it looks like a bunch of people here are growing garlic. Anne Marie's growing garlic and a little nervous about how it's going to look when she's all done and pulls it up. Corey says that it needs to be cold stratified in the fridge. I believe that does help. You probably have to check to see if the supplier or the source that you're buying from already did that or not. So maybe some of them do, maybe some of them don't. Obviously, if you're buying it online, if that's how you're ordering your starter garlic, if you ask them, I'm sure they tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey has the native silver croton in his yard.
Ooh,
Ooh.
interesting. Do you know where you got it, Corey? Or did it just appear there? I wasn't even really aware of a native silver croton, so I just know the kind they, sell in the stores. It was there naturally. That's very interesting. So.
Yeah. Funny thing is, the ones they sell in the store, where they originate from, where they grow naturally. One of the countries where they do grow naturally is Costa Rica, because I was there on a visit, and you're driving through the countryside, and there's just crotons alongside of the road, growing wild, like
wow, that would be interesting.
Like Biden does here, or roadside weeds, or dog fennel, or something. And it's like, wow, now I know where it comes from.
And I guess on the lower elevations, it doesn't freeze there, huh?
No. Yeah, Costa Rica, it's funny because it's all, you regulate with what you're growing, you regulate the temperatures by elevation. So down in the lowlands, you have the bananas and the pineapples, you go higher, you go plant other things, you go up even higher, you plant potatoes. So when you're driving up the side of a volcano, and they do have them there, you can just look at the change and difference in crops based on elevation.
So do you see Alicia's question? Come on, now we're going to be fighting again. What is
Alicia
a learning?
I have a leaning pot. What
Leaning.
perennial can I plant in it? And she wants something pretty all year round.
Salvia
Bernie,
cotina.
you get lots of these kind of vague questions. What would you suggest for a perennial
Well,
in a pot
Lee,
that's pretty
Lee-
year round?
Lee had an idea.
Yes.
The red Salvia cotina, I have it in shallow pots. That should work.
And that does go down, for the winter here, though. She wants it pretty all year round. That's
Oh, here.
going to be difficult, especially in a pot. Salvia is a great idea. Beach sunflower is a great idea, but it will freeze, though.
I
And
think Alicia lives in Orange County, so Central Florida.
yeah, what did you say, Jim?
I would go with Gaillardia.
Gaillardia?
Like it better.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. Or chickseed, but all these are gonna, sentence through part of the winter. But yeah, Gaillardia will just spread like crazy and fill it all in. That'd be a great idea. I would say beach sunflower because it'll look nice for a while, but as the summer wears on and it gets more humid, they don't like pot life. Like August, September, they'll be done with your pot.
It would be nice if it's like a leaning pot. Trying to visualize it. If you could put like Lisa with this red salvia, and
Mhm.
it depends on how you don't want this plant to really escape too much, even though it's a native. Like the red salvia, and then put for ground cover spillover, have like sunshine mimosa. That'd
Yeah,
be a good
cool.
color combo.
Yes. He said sunshine mimosa in case you didn't understand him.
You know,
That would, spill out, kind of looking really cool. Yeah.
you could incorporate kind of a vining spilling herb with that also. Any kind of mint, oregano,
Mm-hmm.
stays evergreen, kind of spills over the side edge of the pot.
Yep. If you want just a plain old house plant, I have so many children of my mother's Swedish ivy, in pots all over the place, here at work and all different places. It's the plant that keeps giving and giving and giving, and she's been gone since 2008. Generations of my mother's Swedish ivy keeps appearing, and you could even have that as the spiller and have some other kind of standing thriller in there.
So, hey guys, it looks like it's getting to be about that time. So let me start showing everybody's contact information here. If you have a really, really difficult lawn and garden or irrigation questions, send them all to Lily and make sure she doesn't forward them to me.
Okay, I'll forward them to Jim.
There you go. He knows all about irrigation.
Yes.
For other questions, there is my email. But Sam, if you send me an email about that pomegranate class, I'll put you on the list and send you a link. So if nothing else, you can watch the class. Or you can sign up and you'll get 3 pomegranate plants, but you're going to have to come here to pick them up because I can't take them there and we can't ship them either. So
What did you tell Alicia? You said viburnum.
I'm sure I said viburnum.
I wasn't really happy with that answer. I would say maybe even a Walters viburnum. You might have to keep it cut a little lower.
I would go. Lily, my favorite. What my favorite hedge is? It's Florida privet.
Florida privet. I like it. Good idea. Yeah, it'll give you a ligustrum kind of look, but it's so much nicer, and it's native. Yeah, Florida privet is.
That is my favorite hedge.
There you go.
Loropetalum is pretty.
Loropetalum is pretty too. Chinese fringe bush. It's not native, but it's easy to find. And it's a very nice Florida-friendly plant. I have learned about the Loropetalum is if you do keep them, my husband keeps them at like 8 feet, and, they stay compact rather than just letting them, go. So there's a Loropetalum called Plum Delight. That's the one with the dark purple leaves. It's very attractive.
One of the hardiest is Iliagnus, but it takes a lot of pruning.
No. Forget him. We're not talking to Bernie anymore.
Stops kids from getting through, stops everything.
Yes, and where Lee is, it takes over the world. It's being, it's on the invasive plant. We won't say its common name, so we won't give it away.
But
it does
come
grow
and get
fast.
some from my yard.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think about pigeon plum? Is that a good shaded tree to have?
Yeah, in your area.
Yeah.
I don't think it's zoned for here.
Yeah, South Florida has so many different options of things you can grow down there.
Man, yeah,
So many
cocoa.
tropical fruits, vegetables. My favorite thing to do in the Miami area, if I'm there on a weekend, is go to the huge farmers market at Homestead. Because every time I go, I see probably a dozen different things I've never seen before. Different types of fruits and vegetables and all. I tell my wife, here, you hold a bunch of bags, I hold a bunch of bags, because we're going to load up.
I had a family member, she was staying in Naples for about a year, and she would keep sending me pictures. What is this? What is this? What is it? I'm like, I don't know. That's a different world. And you know what? But I've learned from myself when I say I don't know, there's something in my head, you know, just go with that first answer. And I was usually right. Like I'm like, I don't know, cocoa plum. And I looked it up. I'm like, oh, I was right. But it is
Yeah.
a totally different world. It's the same state, but a different world down there.
Yeah, you have all these different flowering trees, and it's like a whole different world down there, plant wise.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, thank you all so much. This was
Oh, thank
really,
you
really
so much.
nice.
Yes, thank you, Lee. We still got to
We'll have
arrange
to have
that field
everybody
trip.
back on again. We'll have to throw the link out on a regular basis. Hey, come on and join in. Help us out.
And we still got to arrange that field trip down to Lee's house.
Yep,
To her yard.
anytime. Anytime. You're welcome.
Hey, Lily, do you think you could borrow the van?
Oh, sure.
Are you
Yeah,
ready?
that would be great. Yes.
I have about 10 fruit trees, so you have a little farm back here.
Wow. And how much land do you have that you are doing all that growing on?
Just under a half of an acre.
Wow.
Yeah, we have a pie shape lot because we have a canal in the back. Very small front yard.
Mhm.
Everything is in the back.
Very nice. You can do permaculture on any size, basically.
And you probably have iguanas there, don't you?
Oh, yes.
And all the other invasive lizards. I'm going to have an expert on really soon to go over lizards, because I can't even keep track of what we're supposed to be watching for up here in Central Florida.
I actually found 2 lizards yesterday. I'm not sure if you can see them. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
One was fighting the other one, trying to kill it.
Oh, mine
I've
always
never
do
seen
that.
these ones before.
Well, I know that they have the brown basilisk lizards down there now.
My, that sounds terrifying.
They're the ones who walk on water. So it looks like they're walking
I think
on
they
water.
just skip across the water. I don't
Yeah,
know that they walk
skip
on it.
across because I guess their feet are webbed enough where they can cover a little bit of water without
I think
sinking water.
Basilisk was one of the Harry Potter monsters or something.
Okay, well, hey, thanks again, everybody, so much. Jim, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have you
Yes.
back.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
didn't have much
you.
to talk about
Bring us
birds
some
and natural
coffee, Jim.
resources, which is his area of expertise. Bernie, we're going to have you on more often. Lee, thank you so much for joining in. And
Welcome.
everybody, you know, I can throw that link out pretty much every week to have other people kind of join in and participate that way. That's what we want, is participation, because if we had had no participation, we would not have done this for 3 years. So if you guys keep coming back, I'll keep coming back. Lily, you're going to keep coming back?
I will not be here next week,
Oh,
and probably the week after. The week after is my boss's Springs Protection Workshop, and I will belong to her thoroughly the day before that workshop. So
I'll
I'll,
be here the next 2 weeks.
yes.
I think the week after that, I'll be out of town. So
Okay.
April 20th,
Remind me.
yeah, April 20th, you and Bernie can run the show.
Okay. That sound
well,
good,
thanks
Bernie?
again, everybody.
That's
I
good
think
with
we're
me.
going to go
Okay.
ahead and wrap it up here. And I will definitely be here next week to see all of you. So please be sure to come back, tune in. If you have any questions during the week, shoot me an email. Otherwise, email me pictures and I can share them here next week. And we'll talk about what's going on and help figure it out. So until next week.
Thank you very much, Teresa, for adding excitement at the beginning of this program.
Yes, thank you so much. I think my blood pressure has normalized at this point. So,
Okay. Have a good
and
week.
thank you everybody
Have a
for
good
tuning
weekend.
in.
Have a good week, Lee.
You guys make it all worthwhile. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.